First of all, I want to say thank you to Dean Phillips for this award. When I was first received the envelope, I swore he gave it to the wrong person, so I called his assistant and said I wanted to make sure this was the right person. So I very much appreciate it. I'd like to give a shout out to my team who's here. If you're with T. Dallas Smith & Company, raise your hand. Really appreciate it. And I am extremely grateful that my wife, Monica, raise your hand, is back in town. She's been gone for 5 days. So our daughter, Mackenzie's been stuck with me, which has been quite ridiculous. The best way I can describe it, and some of you younger people won't get this, but the Lucille Ball when she was in the chocolate factory with the, that's been me for the last few days. I'm dropping her off to the wrong schools, and it's just, so babe, I'm so glad you're home. So, Georgia State University. I was at Tennessee State before I came to Georgia State, and quite frankly, I was about to quit school, and because I was already in my career, and so what can this school really teach me? I'm going to do what I'm going to be doing. So I said, I'm going to take this class. I'd already registered, and everybody was talking about this one particular guy, David J. Schwartz, who Dexter mentioned, who wrote the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. I figured I'll go into the class since I already registered, but if I don't like it, I'll quit school and continue my career. I go into one of the lecture halls with 200 students, and I'm the only black student in the class at the time. It was a different Georgia State at the time, so. And I wore a suit and tie because I was in my career, and in walks David Schwartz, who's smoking an unfiltered cigarette. As he gets to the door, he puts the cigarette out on a sign that said, "No smoking." And I noticed on the no smoking sign there were a lot of divots where he'd done this. He's done this plenty of times. And he walked in limping, and he limped up to the front. He had the smoker's voice. "Hello, my name is David J. Schwartz. I'm your professor today." He did this thing. He said, "I'm going to explain something to you. I'm your CEO and you are my employees." He said, "I can't pay you in money, but I'm going to pay you in grades." So he got up and he moved this chalkboard behind him. And behind him, he had a chalkboard. It had the letter A, and next to the letter A was President, 1. Letter B, 10 vice presidents. Letter C, 50 managers. D, stock boys. F's, maintenance people. About 50 people just got out of the class, got up and walked out. So then he introduces himself. Then he goes, "Okay, you've heard from me. Let's hear from you." He points and he goes, "You, come up. Let's hear from you." And it happened to point at me. What I didn't know is Dr. Schwartz liked people who wore ties and who sat on the front row. So I had a tie on, I sat on the front row. I got up, he was behind the podium, I said, "Excuse me," he wouldn't move. I said, "Excuse me," he wouldn't move. I said, "Excuse me," he wouldn't move. So I moved him out of the way. And I started to introduce myself. My name's Dallas Smith. I'm the marketing director for Atlanta Air Center Realty. And I go into my thing, and he starts hitting on the table. "Stop, stop, stop, stop." He said, "What is your name?" I said, "My name is Dallas Smith." He said, "Smith, let me tell you something. You have it. Whatever it is, you have it." He said, 20 years from now, you're going to go be at an alumni association. You're going to be receiving awards." I'm not bullshitting you. This is exactly, this is what he said. So here we are, 2015. Dr. Schwartz, he died in 1988. There's not a day goes by I don't miss him. I don't think about him. I'm extremely grateful for Georgia State and what it's meant for me. And if I can give just a fraction of what he gave to me to other students, I'm grateful that I can do it. Thank you for this award. Thank you, Dean Phillips.